Hey everybody, it's Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Yes, I know the market is in the doldrums today. We've continued our slide since yesterday and a lot of projects are down. There's no doubt about it, but some projects are up. So as always, we're going to try to bring you the silver lining, look at some of the positives in an otherwise bleak market landscape. We're taking a look here on Crypto Daily at a number of projects that were identified as performing relatively well versus the competition. So XRP, Ripple, XLM, Stellar Lumens, and ADA. Cardano fly up in sudden breakaway from bear trend. Now, I know there are other projects that are up a lot more in the top 100. Just taking a look at some of those, mentioning them briefly. Populous is actually up north of 20% at the time of this recording. So Populous is performing very well on an otherwise gloomy day. Chainlink is up, Hollow is up. Icon took a big hit yesterday, but it's back up several percentage points today. I think likely just in terms of a bounce, in terms of the economics of how quickly it sunk. It's back up and performing relatively well today. Again, in a market that's otherwise characterized by some negativity today. But looking at some of these, higher ranked projects, it's pretty rare that we see news like this, especially when the markets are moving in a very negative direction here, writes Nathan Bentley. But for some reason, Ripple, XRP, Stellar, XLM, and Cardano ADA have taken a sudden upswing in a market that is otherwise within a very heavy downtrend. So taking a look at some of the reasons for this, we see that there's an announcement that's been made by Ripple specifically I'd like to focus on. So check this out. This is a little bit we should say unexpected, but here's the announcement. We're thrilled to announce Bill Clinton as keynote speaker for this year's Swell by Ripple. For more details, check out the following. So here you have on October 1st and October 2nd, you have the Swell conference or event by Ripple, in which President Bill Clinton, 42nd President of the United States, is going to be a keynote speaker. So like I said, a little bit of an unexpected announcement there. I don't really know what Bill Clinton has to do with cryptocurrency or Ripple for that matter. But nevertheless, here it is. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, keynotes Swell 2018. So from the Ripple website, today we're thrilled to announce 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton, as the keynote speaker for Swell, where the world's leaders in policy, payments, and technology connect. So reading further ahead, this year's Swell program will feature financial services companies using blockchain technology in production, new market opportunity in remittances, e-commerce, and corporate marketplaces, frameworks for regulating digital assets across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The Swell 2018 conference is located in our hometown of San Francisco, California from Monday, October 1st to Tuesday, October 2nd. For more information, we encourage you to visit the Swell website and stay tuned over the coming weeks for updates on this dynamic lineup. Of course, we're going to link to that. And look, guys, whether you like or dislike 42nd President of the U.S., Bill Clinton, this is a very high-profile individual, and this is going to attract a lot of attention. So even if it's indirect attention for Ripple and the crypto community, the crypto space, hey, that's not a bad thing. I'll take it. High-profile speakers are always a good thing in this domain, in this sector in which we find ourselves. And in other news, here on SludgeFeed, NEO partners with CertiK to build more secure smart contracts. The partnership is focused on creating more secure smart contracts for the NEO blockchain. So good news for NEO, which is a blockchain platform for smart contracts, often referred to as the Ethereum of China, announced this week that it has formed a partnership with CertiK, a blockchain and smart contract verification program, to improve the security of smart contracts on the NEO blockchain. We're going to link to the NEO announcement in just a second, according to which CertiK will act as a security auditor and provide a tailored solution for the verification of digital assets and user identities on the NEO platform. In a statement accompanying the announcement, NGD, which is the NEO Global Development Manager Zhao Shen, shared his optimism toward the future outcomes of the new partnership. NEO is a high-speed autonomous public chain with more developers building layers on top of it. This added security layer will expedite the prosperity of the ecosystem. I believe NEO and CertiK's partnership is on track to changing the course of history. Wow, lofty ambitions right there. But nonetheless, it seems like a good partnership. So let us know your thoughts if you're familiar with CertiK or whether you think this is a good direction for NEO to be heading in for all the NEO fans out there. Not financial advice, but it's sitting at a pretty good price right now. It's retraced quite a bit. So here you have the announcement itself. So NEO partners with CertiK for next secure smart economic model. As cryptocurrencies get more widely recognized as digital assets, blockchain security becomes increasingly more essential. Having the largest developer community, NEO is paying extra attention to blockchain security. You can read more about this here on medium.com. We're going to link to this as well as the Twitter announcement in the description below. And as always, make sure you let us know your thoughts on the issue. What do you guys think about this partnership? Is it a good one? Is it a bad one for NEO's future? Would be very curious to hear your thoughts on this particular endeavor. And finally today in the news, we're going to get opinionated here, so buckle up. A total collapse in Bitcoin is a real possibility, says Nobel Prize winning economist Krugman. All right, so before I go off on him, let's first hear about what he has to say, give him a fair shake. What problem do cryptocurrencies solve? Asks the noted economist, and New York Times columnist Paul Krugman. Bitcoin evangelists tout digital currencies as revolutionary, a technology that could reshape the global monetary system. Pioneered because of a lack of faith in traditional banking, cryptocurrencies will become the new global currency, gold for a millennial age, some devotees argue. However, the Nobel Prize winning economist, don't ask me how that was possible, Nobel Prize winning, Paul Krugman says that this feverish enthusiasm is ill-informed and that a full-scale collapse of Bitcoin minus 1.14% at the time of this writing is a real possibility, arguing that cryptocurrencies aren't solving any problems in the current monetary system, which already boasts seamless and low-cost transactions. Really, Mr. Krugman? So instead of money, he says, created by the click of a mouse, we have money that must be mined, created through resource-intensive computations. So that's one quote of his. Here's another one. Cryptocurrencies, by contrast, have no backstop, no tether to reality. We're going to talk about reality in just a moment. So their value depends entirely on self-fulfilling expectations, which means that total collapse is a real possibility. So does any fiat-based currency model not depend on self-fulfilling expectations or collective faith in the value that they create? Not sure about that, but that's a question that I'll throw out to you guys out there in the altcoin buzz army. So that's Mr. Krugman's take, that these aren't necessarily based in any way in reality. So here's a piece of news on news.bitcoin.com that rightfully skewers Mr. Krugman. I have no idea why this guy is popular. He's got a track record where he's been wrong about 95% of the time, and somehow he's worshipped in the world of economists as this luminary that knows what's going on, despite the fact that he's been wrong time and time again for decades. I don't get it. I don't get what it is with this guy, the cult of Paul Krugman. This guy has been on the polar opposite end as far as being correct in terms of every major prediction that he's made, and he's being taken to task here in this article for good reason. Paul Krugman, the famed economist who's made a career out of being wrong about things, is wrong again. Big surprise. That in itself is no more surprising than the fact that his latest op-ed takes aim at his favorite bête noire, Bitcoin. The surprising part is that Krugman has resorted to the same hackneyed arguments he always uses to attack cryptocurrency. It's an odd decision for such a learned scholar when there are far more lethal lines of attack for a crypto skeptic to take. So obviously this person's not a fan of Paul Krugman. So here's an interesting quote by Paul Krugman. By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. On the rise of communication networks, real social media, he also said they'll fail because, quote, most people have nothing to say to each other. Now he's at it again, but with Bitcoin. And if you guys think that Paul Krugman has been, just wrong in terms of technological predictions, guess again, we're going to get to that in a moment as well. So, quote, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster, Nietzsche warned. Quote, for when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. Bitcoin is Paul Krugman's monster, and despite having swung at it repeatedly over the years, he's yet to strike a meaningful blow. We're going to take a look at his op-ed in just a moment, but check this out. It's astonishing how many times someone can be wrong in the course of a single article, or in the course of their career, I'll posit for that matter. And one penned by distinguished professor of economics, no less. Either Paul Krugman is the world's subtlest troll, or he's the world's most benighted professor of economics. Now, There are some people with whom I'll disagree because they may not have a stellar track record in, technology. It may not be their wheelhouse or their strength, but I still respect them. So when it comes to people like Warren Buffett, for example, Warren Buffett is a genius when it comes to investing. He just hasn't done, a lot in terms of technological investments. He's really big on manufacturing, traditional American industries. Fine. So his expertise may not be technology. It may not be internet companies like Google or Amazon. The man is still very bright and knows what he's talking about. Paul Krugman has been right about nothing, and I don't understand why he's all of a sudden entering this debate because he is so poorly armed in terms of his intellectual arsenal. It's just embarrassing. You guys take a look at this. They basically put him through the ringer here. So a bunch of Paul Krugman quotes here from his op-ed in the New York Times, and then you have Reality, right? Reality, as if it's a one-on-one discussion, just coming back at him and explaining why he is wrong. So this is a little bit of editorializing. Obviously, in his op-ed piece, these are the quotes that are taken directly from what Paul Krugman said, and then you have Reality responding. So just a quick sample here. Paul Krugman, quote, "Instead of a near frictionless transaction with fiat, we have high costs of doing business because transferring a Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency units requires providing a complete history of past transaction. Reality, no, it doesn't. If anyone cares to look up past transaction using a blockchain explorer, they're welcome to, but that has no bearing on doing business with Bitcoin and has zero correlation with the cost of sending Bitcoin." So you have a few such examples. You can see how Krugman is really quite wrong in so much of his, appraisal of Bitcoin and the technology. And he's saying, for example, that fiat is superior and things like transaction fees. Where do you get off? And sorry guys, I'm not done venting yet. Check this out. The growth of the internet will slow drastically as the flaw in Metcalfe's law, which states that the number of potential connections in a network is proportional to the square of the number of participants, becomes apparent. Most people have nothing to say to each other. By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. Yeah, drink up, Paul Krugman. Cheers to you. And now he's entering the cryptocurrency debate. If you think he's limited in terms of everything that he's gotten wrong, if you think he's limited to the world of technology, you can take a look at this Quora article. You can take a look at all of these mistakes that he's made. This is an economic Nobel Prize winning academic. I don't know why he is celebrated. I don't know why anybody takes him seriously. Some things he's been wrong about: the survival of the euro, the mechanism of the housing bust. He's been wrong about deflation, wrong about performance in the worst hit European countries, wrong about the US under Bush and that it would be attacked by bond vigilantes. Number 6, the sequester of 2013 would cause a slowdown in the US and the stimulus of 2009 would reduce unemployment. All kinds of different examples. The recession would be over soon, said Paul Krugman. Paul Krugman was also 100% wrong about the economy under US President Donald Trump. Whether you like him or you dislike him, Paul Krugman was on the polar opposite end of accuracy in his prediction. So again, I ask, why does anybody celebrate him? Why does anybody take him seriously? And here's just another classic gem of a quote by the visionary that is Paul Krugman. If you guys or your family, if you were affected by the 2008 housing crisis, you're going to love this one. Quote, "To fight this recession, the Fed needs more than a snapback. It needs soaring household spending to offset moribund business investment. And to do that, as Paul McCulley of PIMCO put it, Alan Greenspan needs to create a housing bubble to replace the NASDAQ bubble." Nobel laureate Paul Krugman in his New York Times piece, August 2nd, 2002. If you don't believe me that that's right out of the New York Times, here it is. You can look it up for yourselves. So more genius courtesy of Paul Krugman. Now look guys, I realize it must sound like I have an axe to grind, but it infuriates me when people like this step up and tell us what's best for us and for the economy. If we had no economists, it would be better than having Paul Krugman. If we had economists that we randomly selected off the street, so we took hobos and appointed them to the highest positions in the Federal Reserve and as economic ministers, we'd be better off than Paul Krugman. If we had drunken monkeys flinging darts at some board to determine future economic policy, it would be better than what Paul Krugman has produced. So yeah, it perturbs me a little bit when he comes out and now steps into the world of cryptocurrency and tells us why Bitcoin as a system doesn't work. Anyways, It's just my 2 cents. Rant is now over. Let me know what you guys think about the issue here. As always, guys, make sure you're following us, Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter. Leave us a like if you enjoyed the video. Click the bell to be sure you're notified to all of our new content, which we put out every day. You can click the link on the right here to connect to our latest video, as well as our website, altcoinbuzz.io. And as always, guys, if you choose to invest, I wish you happy investing. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon with some new videos. Take care.